All right, well, here goes. Hey y'all, I'm Siri with a C, and welcome to my first episode ever on YouTube. The goal with all of this is to just have another voice out there being authentic and genuine. So, who am I? I'm Siri, spelled with a C. I am a mother of 3. I have 2 teenagers and an elementary school aged child, and I homeschool and have homeschooled all 3 of them since they were little. I am an animal care person by trade, so I did animal nursing and veterinary technician type work for about a decade before I left to stay at home more and to pursue a degree. So I went and got a degree, and now I'm getting ready to start a new side hustle that I can do while still staying and focusing on my children and being a part of the family. It's really easy as a mom to get lost in the day-to-day and who you are and what you can do, especially if you did have a career before. There's just guilt that goes either way. I've been a working mother, I've been a stay-at-home mother, and it's hard on both ends. It really is. So trying to find something that is a good balance between living your values and also being able to do something that you want to do and you love just for yourself is important. And I encourage anyone to find what that is for them and to do it. The concept of this channel is going to be to build in public. So if you haven't heard of that idea, it is that we do something, make something, build something in a public space and engage the community while we do it, is kind of like the really overarching goal. It started, I think, more with like the software type of software engineering and the web development type sphere, where you build code, I guess, in public and people comment or help, or you just show what you're learning as you're learning it. It's a very vulnerable type space. It's really hard to say you're going to do something, show them that you're doing it, and not know what that outcome is going to be. So for me, I'm going to start an Etsy shop. I am starting an Etsy shop. I have been working towards starting a small handmade craft-based business for about 6 months. And I'll go through like all of the things that I had to do and figure out and do the steps. But I'm also filming that while it's happening in real time. So right now, like for complete transparency, I'm about a week and a half out from what my self-imposed Etsy shop launch date is. And there's a lot of stuff that kind of happened before that I will talk about in later episodes. But from here on out, I want this to be semi-real time. I want these episodes to come out, a week or so maybe after that they've been filmed. I've tried to like focus on the people that I feel are giving me helpful information and kind of follow their channels and subscribe and see where they're at on social media and see what they're doing. But these are all people that have already succeeded. And while it's super helpful because it's motivational and you can see what they did and you can learn from a lot of their mistakes, especially when they're very honest and transparent, what you don't see is the day-to-day, kind of the nitty-gritty of what you're trying to do and how you're trying to get it done. I especially don't see that represented with mothers who have other commitments. I see a lot of great content coming from people who don't have children in the house anymore, or who have young children and somebody else is taking care of them primarily. And that's not the case for me. I do have a husband, but he works 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. He is not the primary schooler. He is not the primary caretaker. I think it's very important and maybe hopefully helpful to you somewhere out there to see me kind of stumbling along and tripping and falling on my face and just being my very awkward self. I'm hoping it inspires someone to try. I'm hoping it inspires somebody else to just go for it. Just be a little braver than you think you can be. Because I think you can be. the other thing that I want to show with this channel is how to do something when you have constraints. It is easier to do something like this when your income isn't necessarily a problem, when your space is not very limited, where your lifestyle is one such that you can set aside either time, space, money, resources to get what you want to get done. And I don't fault anybody for that. And like I said, I'm super grateful for the content that I found on these channels. They've been beyond helpful and beyond inspiring. But I have this shed, I have a very small amount of space. I live in an RV. I have, we have 350, maybe 400 square feet of living space in which there are 5 humans, 2 large dogs, and 2 old cats. So, for me, I don't have time because of the whole homeschooling and being full and being a mom, and I don't have space. So making what I want to do, making it work with my constraints, I think is also valuable for people that might have similar type of challenges. I think a lot of us don't have as much as we wish we did as far as what we think we need to get something off the ground and going. As far as like wanting to fund something, I'm not treating this like a hobby because I don't want to just take from the family resources and not have something to show for it. Like, this will be a legitimate, ideally a legitimate full-on business. So showing all of that, being really honest, being really authentic is important to me. The last thing that I think is valuable is that I want to show all of this, and I want to be completely transparent, but I also want to show how a business can start in a shed or a shack and be values forward from the get-go. So it's really important to me to be very clear on my values and to have a very clear North Star as far as my behaviors, my ethics, the products that I make, the services that I offer, anything like that has to be, to me, values forward. Because if we just go for the money, or we just go for the shortcut, or we just go for the next greatest and latest, we lose kind of our souls. And I think that's being reflected in just the lack of empathy and a lot of the problems that we see. And I also think that companies get away with so much taking because we don't hold them accountable to the values that they like to like advertise on their websites, and we don't hold them accountable to just normal human behavior. Like, there are humans behind every single company that runs. So I think showing that yes, it can be done, therefore if it can be done on a tiny little scale with a tiny little person with not that much power and influence, then absolutely, hell yeah, it better be done on a bigger scale. There are companies that are doing the right thing and that are being kind and that are being good and putting better out into the world, but those are fewer and far between. My values happen to be integrity, happen to be joy, happen to be kindness, and happen to be service. So the products that I make are meant to spread some joy and inspire kindness. Like, I'm going to make prints of different things, and that's going to be stickers and 3D prints and ideally screen prints and everything that we do. We, as in my Woods, Waves, and Wonders company, on top of my Etsy shop, on top of maybe the social media, is going to also be focused on service and really transparent about what we do with our service. So proceeds, yes, we're going to donate to specific causes, and I will have those on a website, and I will talk about why I chose the causes that I chose, but I also volunteer my time. I think being honest and authentic about the struggles of this kind of endeavor is important. I don't look to this as being any sort of goal to be an influencer. I'm like like the anti-heroes. It's like I'm an anti-influencer. Like, don't be like me, don't do like me, do like you, but see that it can be done, because this awkward, weird person in a shed is doing it, if that makes sense. And at the last, like, I want to inspire creativity. I think we as humans have we're creative. Everybody has some spark of creativity. And if you want to do something like this, if that's what you want to be, then go for it. If you want to make stuff and sell it at craft fairs or in stores, or if you want to start a business, or if you want to do any of that, like, yes, yes, and just do it. Persevere. Just small, tiny steps. If you have big dreams, that's great. What is it? The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. That's basically what I've been doing for the last 6 months, just to get this shop started, just to get this channel started. For 6 months. 6 months it's taken me to get to this point. One tiny bite at a time. Like, this is all I had. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm okay with that. I think others should be and can be and want to be too. So this is just another voice saying, yeah, shoot your shot, friend. We got this. So stay tuned for the next episode if you liked any of what I said. Next episode will be talking more about my actual, really filming the last couple weeks and discussing kind of how the last 6 months have gone and how underprepared I was and underorganized I have been until now. So that will be kind of more of the, again, that nitty gritty, the detail oriented, not making recommendations for what you should do, but this is what I've kind of had to do and figured out and what is working for me right now in real time. And then I will be opening my shop by that time. So then we'll be talking about what all that took and looks like. Yeah, so find me on my website, find me on my social media. The links are going to be below. Hope to see you later on in the future. And if you write my name, spell it with the C. Bye, y'all.